The villagers whispered the moment she stepped out of the wagon. Her mother really gave her away to him, the crippled hermit on the ridge. Lila heard every word, each whisper cutting deeper than the last, but she kept her chin up even as her heart trembled. She had been traded for food and debt relief, handed off like a burden. And waiting for her, leaning on a crutch carved from cedar, was the man everyone feared and pitied in equal measure, Eamon Hale, the disabled mountain man who rarely came down from his cabin. But what he did next stopped everyone cold. Instead of claiming her, instead of dragging her toward the rugged trail that led to his isolated home, he stepped aside. "You're not mine," he said softly, his voice steady despite a faint tremor in his leg. "You owe me nothing. You stay only if you choose." In that moment, Lila realized something the village never had. The hermit, the cripple, the dangerous mountain man, was the only person who had treated her like a human being. The journey up the mountain. Lila didn't choose immediately. She stood frozen, staring at the ground where dust blew around her thin shoes. Returning home meant abuse, shame, and debts she'd never repay. Staying meant the unknown. "Why would you take someone like me?" she whispered. Eamon lifted his gaze to the surrounding villagers, all staring, waiting, sneering. "Because no one deserves to be treated like property," he replied. "And because I could use help, not a servant. A companion. Someone willing." Those words struck deep. And so, gathering the last scraps of her courage, Lila made her choice. She picked up her small bag of belongings and followed him up the narrow mountain trail. The climb was brutal. Eamon's injured legs slowed them, and Lina's weak body wasn't used to harsh terrain. But every time she stumbled, he offered support without touching her, asking gently, "Do you want to rest?" Nobody had ever cared to ask her once before. When they finally reached his cabin, a sturdy home of stone and timber tucked between whispering pines, Lila felt something she hadn't felt in years. Safety. Two lonely souls under the same roof. The first days were awkward. Lila kept waiting for the moment he would change, demand obedience, or treat her like an obligation. But Eamon kept his distance, respectful yet quietly attentive. He taught her how to chop herbs, how to tend the goats, how to protect the cabin from storms. And Lila, in turn, began cooking for him, repairing his worn clothes, making small improvements around the home. They moved around each other like two shy shadows learning to share sunlight. But Eamon had his secrets too. Every night, Lila heard him trying to hide the pained sounds of his leg, the injury he had gotten saving 3 villagers from a rockslide years ago, the same villagers who now mocked him. He wasn't a monster. He wasn't a hermit by choice. He was a man banished by a world uncomfortable with weakness. And slowly, Lila's fear of him transformed into admiration. Storm, scar, and revelation. One evening, a violent storm swept across the mountain. The wind tore at the shutters and lightning illuminated the sky. A tree crashed through the side pasture fence, threatening the goats. Lila rushed outside without thinking, and Eamon limped after her as fast as he could. In the chaos, she slipped on the wet grass and nearly fell into the ravine, but Eamon caught her, dragging her back to safety despite the pain ripping through his bad leg. When they collapsed inside the cabin, breathless and soaked, Lila looked at him with new eyes. "You risked yourself, for me." He brushed wet hair from his forehead. "You're not a burden. You're—" He stopped himself. Lila's heart pounded. "I'm what, Eamon?" His jaw tightened. "Someone I don't want to lose." The cabin felt quiet but warm, overflowing with words unspoken. The rumors reached the village. Weeks passed, and Lila bloomed like a spring wildflower after too many winters. She smiled more. She worked with pride. She even laughed, something she thought she'd forgotten how to do. But rumors spread. Her mother, shocked that Lila hadn't come crawling back, marched up the mountain with several villagers. They accused Eamon of keeping Lila captive, abusing her, forcing her into servitude. Eamon didn't argue. He didn't raise his voice. Instead, he stepped aside again, the same way he had the day they met. "If you want to go, Lila," he said softly, "I won't stop you." Lila looked at her mother, the woman who had sold her. The villagers who mocked her. The people who had never believed in her. Then she looked at the man who had given her freedom, dignity, and the chance to rebuild her life. Her voice was steady as a sunrise. "I'm staying." Gasps rippled through the group. Her mother sneered. "With him. A lame outcast." Lila stepped closer to Eamon, her voice fierce. "With the only person who has ever treated me with respect." And then Eamon did something that shocked everyone, even Lina. He reached into a wooden chest near the door and pulled out a folded deed. "This land, this cabin, it's now co-owned," he said, placing it gently into Lina's hands. "You've worked for it. You've built this life with me. It belongs to you as much as to me." The crowd fell silent. The mountain cripple had not claimed a girl, he had given her a future. A life rebuilt, a love rekindled. After the villagers left in stunned silence, Lina turned to Eamon with tears in her eyes. You gave me half your home. You gave me back my life," he replied quietly. "Seems fair." And in that moment, Lina realized what her heart had been whispering for weeks. She didn't want to stay because she had nowhere else to go. She wanted to stay because Eamon was her home. Their relationship grew naturally, slowly, tenderly, built not on desperation but on trust, kindness, and shared healing. The mountain, once a place of fear for both of them, became a sanctuary of second chances. The inspiring message. By spring, travelers who passed through the region often spoke of the couple who lived high on the ridge, the gentle woman and the brave, disabled mountain man who worked side by side to create a life full of warmth and resilience. Their story became a quiet legend. Two people discarded by the world, who found strength in each other and created a home built not on need, but on choice. And Lina never forgot the first lesson Eamon taught her, the one that changed both their lives forever. Freedom is the beginning of love. Respect is what helps it grow.